Welcome to the Amber Lull of Starfall Glen, a calming and enchanting sleep story designed to gently guide you towards restful slumber. If you find peace and tranquility in this story and would like to experience more soothing soundscapes and narratives, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content crafted to ease your mind and body. Before we journey into the magical Starfall Glen, we will begin with a soft breathing guidance to help you unwind and prepare for a night of peaceful dreams. If you wish to drift directly into the story, the chapter timestamps are available for you in the video description below. Now, find a position that is perfectly comfortable for you. Allow your body to settle deeply into your bed, feeling the gentle support beneath you. Perhaps adjust your blankets or pillows to create a nest of warmth and coziness. This is your sanctuary, a space dedicated to letting go of the day's concerns and welcoming tranquility. Imagine the soft amber light of Starfall Glen beginning to envelop you, a gentle golden embrace. Let the whispers of the glen begin to soothe your mind. Let us take a calming breath together. Inhale slowly through your nose, drawing in the peaceful energy of the glen, like breathing in the scent of night-blooming jasmine. Hold it gently for a moment, and then exhale slowly through your mouth, releasing any lingering tension with each breath, like a soft sigh carried on a lavender breeze. As you breathe, feel your muscles softening, relaxing. Imagine the gentle Amberfall cascading over you, each droplet of light washing away any remaining stress. Visualize the ancient trees of the glen standing tall and silent, offering their peaceful presence. If your thoughts begin to wander, simply acknowledge them and gently guide your attention back to your breath or to the sound of my voice. There is nothing to strive for, nothing to achieve, only to listen and allow the story to carry you towards sleep. Feel the gentle hum of the Amberfall resonating around you, a comforting vibration that permeates every cell of your body. Let it ease your mind, soothe your spirit, and prepare you for the peaceful melodies of Starfall Glen. Now, let's begin our journey into the heart of Starfall Glen, where the Amber Lull awaits to guide you into a serene and restful sleep. Chapter 1. The journey begins. Orion, the lute player, felt the familiar weight of his instrument against his back, a comforting presence yet today, tinged with a subtle ache of weariness. He adjusted the strap as he stepped onto the winding path leading away from the village, the cobblestones giving way to soft earth beneath his worn leather boots. The sun, a warm and gentle hand upon his shoulders, filtered through the leaves of the ancient oaks lining the road, dappling the path in shifting patterns of light and shadow. The air hummed with the lazy drone of bees, busy amongst the wildflowers that spilled across the meadow edges, their colors a cheerful, unrestrained palette of yellows, blues, and gentle reds. He breathed deeply, inhaling the sweet, grassy scent of the meadows, mingled with the subtle, earthy aroma of the forest edge ahead. It was a familiar smell, the comforting scent of summer days and peaceful wanderings, yet today it felt tinged with a longing, a quiet yearning for something more profound than of a woodland bird, a melodious fluting song that echoed through the trees. He felt a sense of entering a different realm, a place of quiet contemplation and gentle secrets. He noticed growing alongside the path clusters of wild thyme, their tiny leaves releasing a fragrant peppery scent when brushed against. He gently crushed a few leaves between his fingers, inhaling the invigorating aroma. It was a scent that spoke of resilience and quiet strength, of the enduring power of nature to thrive even in the most unassuming of places. He tucked a few sprigs of thyme into his satchel, a small memento of the journey, a reminder of the simple pleasures found along the way. The path turned again, leading him deeper into the woods, towards the whispers of Starfall Glen and the promise of amber light and peaceful melodies. He walked on, his heart filled with a quiet hope, a gentle anticipation of the solace that awaited him. As the afternoon deepened, the sunlight shifted, slanting through the trees at a lower angle, painting the forest floor in long, dramatic shadows. The air grew still, and a hush fell over the woods, a sense of quiet expectancy before the coming twilight. Orion felt a subtle shift in the atmosphere, a gentle deepening of peace, a prelude to the magic he hoped to find in the glen. He continued his walk, his steps now softer, more deliberate, as if attuned to the quiet rhythm of the woods, drawn onward by the unseen, unheard whispers of Starfall Glen. He imagined the glen, bathed in its amber light, a sanctuary of tranquility, a place where worries faded and melodies flowed freely. He pictured the soft glow, the gentle warmth, the peaceful silence, and felt a growing sense of anticipation, a quiet excitement mingled with a sense of peaceful surrender. He trusted the whispers that had led him here, the gentle pull of the glen, the promise of solace for his weary spirit. He knew, deep within, that this journey was more than just a walk through the woods. It was a journey inward, a quest for inner peace and the rediscovery of the music within his heart. He walked on, the path now barely visible beneath a carpet of fallen leaves, guided by an inner sense of direction, a gentle knowing that he was nearing his destination. The air grew fragrant with the subtle sweetness of damp earth and the delicate perfume of unseen blossoms. He could almost feel the presence of the glen, a quiet, inviting energy that emanated from the depths of the woods ahead, drawing him closer, promising rest and renewal, the amber lull of Starfall Glen awaiting his arrival. Chapter 2. Whispers of the Glen. Orion emerged from the dense woods, the trees thinning abruptly, and found himself standing at the edge of Starfall Glen. The air here was different, stiller, imbued with a palpable sense of peace, a hushed reverence that seemed to quiet the very beating of his heart. Twilight was deepening, painting the sky in soft hues of lavender and rose, but within the glen a gentle amber light was already beginning to glow, emanating from an unseen source, bathing the landscape in a warm, ethereal luminescence. The fragrance of night-blooming jasmine hung heavy in the air, mingled with the earthy scent of damp moss and ancient trees, creating a heady, intoxicating perfume that wrapped around him like a soft embrace. He stepped into the glen, his boots sinking softly into a carpet of moss and fallen leaves, the ground yielding gently beneath his weight, as if welcoming him. The sounds of the outside world faded instantly, replaced by the quiet symphony of the glen, the soft rustling of leaves in the ancient trees, a distant melodic hum that resonated deep within the earth, and the gentle whisper of the breeze as it stirred through the branches overhead. It was a soundscape of profound tranquility, a lullaby of nature that soothed his weary nerves and calmed his racing thoughts. He felt an immediate sense of release, as if shedding a heavy cloak of anxiety and stepping into a haven of peace. The amber glow intensified as twilight deepened, casting long, gentle shadows from the ancient trees that ringed the glen, their branches reaching skyward like protective arms. Tiny, glowing particles, like fallen stardust, drifted lazily in the air, catching the amber light and creating a magical, ethereal atmosphere, as if the very air itself was imbued with a gentle enchantment. He reached out a hand, feeling the soft, almost imperceptible touch of the stardust against his skin, a sensation of lightness and wonder. He closed his eyes for a moment, breathing deeply, letting the peaceful energy of the glen permeate his being. He followed a narrow path that wound deeper into the glen, the amber light guiding his way, illuminating the soft contours of the landscape. He noticed small, luminous flowers blooming amongst the moss, their petals glowing with a gentle inner light, like tiny stars scattered across the forest floor. They emitted a delicate, sweet fragrance that mingled with the jasmine and earth, adding another layer to the glen's intoxicating perfume. He knelt to examine one closely, its petals soft and velvety to the touch, its light a beacon of quiet beauty in the twilight. As he walked further, the melodic hum grew stronger, resolving into a low, resonant chord that seemed to emanate from the earth itself. It was a sound felt rather than heard, a vibration that resonated within his bones, soothing his muscles and calming his mind. He realized it was the sound of the Amberfall, the source of the glen's magical light, a gentle shower of golden energy cascading from the sky, unseen yet powerfully felt. He felt drawn towards it, an irresistible pull towards the heart of the glen and the source of its tranquil magic. He reached a clearing in the center of the glen, and there he saw it, the Amberfall. It was not a waterfall of water, but a gentle cascade of golden light, shimmering and flowing downwards from the sky, bathing the clearing in its warm, luminous glow. It was a breathtaking sight, a vision of pure, gentle magic, a tangible manifestation of peace and tranquility. He stood at the edge of the clearing, mesmerized by the Amberfall, feeling its warmth radiating outwards, beckoning him closer. The air around it shimmered and vibrated with a gentle energy, a palpable sense of healing and restoration. He stepped into the clearing, walking towards the Amberfall, feeling its light envelop him, a warm, gentle embrace that eased the tension in his shoulders and neck, smoothed the worry lines from his brow, and calmed the fluttering in his heart. He reached the center of the clearing, directly beneath the Amberfall, and sat down on a bed of soft moss, letting the golden light shower over him. He closed his eyes, surrendering completely to the glen's embrace, allowing the amber lull to wash over him, soothing his weary soul and whispering promises of peace and rediscovery. The hum of the Amberfall deepened, resonating within him, a lullaby of light and tranquility, guiding him towards a state of profound relaxation and inner stillness. He felt a deep sense of connection to the glen, a feeling of belonging and peace that he had not experienced in a long time. The worries of the world seemed to melt away, replaced by a quiet contentment, a sense of being held and nurtured by the gentle magic of Starfall Glen. He knew in that moment that he had found a solace he had sought, the healing he had craved, and the quiet inspiration to rediscover the music within his heart, bathed in the soft amber lull of the glen. Chapter 3. Amberfall. Bathed in the soft golden light of the Amberfall, Orion felt a profound sense of peace settle over him, deeper than any he had known before. The warm glow seeped into his skin, relaxing his muscles, easing the knots of tension that had gathered in his shoulders and neck. The gentle hum of the Amberfall resonated within him, a low, comforting vibration that calmed his racing thoughts and smoothed the anxieties that had clouded his mind for so long. He felt himself sinking into the soft moss beneath him, as if the earth itself was cradling him, offering a haven of rest and renewal. The air was still and fragrant, filled with the sweet scent of jasmine and the earthy aroma of damp moss, a perfume of tranquility that lulled his senses and invited him to surrender to the present moment. He opened his eyes slowly, gazing upwards at the Amberfall, mesmerized by its gentle cascade of light. It was not a harsh, brilliant light, but a soft, luminous glow like honeyed sunshine, warm and inviting. The tiny particles of stardust shimmered within the amber light, drifting downwards like golden snowflakes, each one catching the light and scattering it in a miniature burst of brilliance. He watched them dance and twirl, their delicate movements hypnotic, drawing his attention away from the worries of the world and into the quiet beauty of the glen. He felt a sense of wonder, a childlike awe at the simple magic of the Amberfall, a reminder of the beauty and mystery that still existed in the world, hidden away in secluded places like Starfall Glen. Closing his eyes again, he focused on his breathing, inhaling deeply, drawing in the peaceful energy of the glen, and exhaling slowly, releasing any lingering tension with each breath. He imagined the amber light flowing into him with each inhale, filling him with warmth and calm, and the worries and anxieties flowing out with each exhale, carried away by the gentle breeze that whispered through the glen. He felt his body becoming heavier, sinking deeper into the moss, completely relaxed and at ease. The hum of the Amberfall deepened, enveloping him in its resonant lullaby, a sound that seemed to speak directly to his soul, soothing and comforting, promising rest and renewal. He let his mind wander gently, drifting through peaceful images, sun-dappled meadows, clear streams murmuring over smooth stones, ancient trees swaying in a soft breeze, fireflies dancing in the twilight. He allowed these images to fill his mind, replacing any intrusive thoughts or worries with scenes of natural beauty and tranquility. He felt a sense of lightness, as if a heavy burden had been lifted from his shoulders, replaced by a feeling of gentle ease and contentment. The amber light continued to shower over him, bathing him in its warm embrace, its restorative energy seeping into every cell of his body, healing and renewing, calming and soothing. He reached for his lute, resting beside him on the moss. Usually, the touch of his instrument brought a surge of performance anxiety, a pressure to create and impress. But here, in the gentle embrace of the Amberfall, the feeling was different. There was no pressure, no anxiety, only a quiet desire to express the peace he felt, to translate the glen's tranquility into music. He held the lute gently in his lap, letting his fingers rest lightly on the strings. He closed his eyes again, listening to the hum of the Amberfall, letting its resonant melody guide his fingers. He began to play, softly at first, hesitant notes tentatively exploring the silence of the glen. The melody that emerged was simple, unadorned, a gentle flow of notes that mirrored the soft cascade of the Amberfall, the rustle of leaves, the murmur of the breeze. It was not a performance, but a quiet conversation with the glen, a musical expression of gratitude and peace. The notes blended seamlessly with the natural symphony of the glen, as if his lute was simply adding its voice to the already existing harmony. He played on, lost in the music, feeling the notes flow effortlessly from his fingers, guided by the tranquil energy of the Amberfall. As he played, he noticed a change in the glen. The whispering willows standing at the edge of the clearing, their silver leaves shimmering in the amber light, seemed to sway gently in time with his music. The luminous flowers at his feet seemed to glow brighter, their delicate fragrance intensifying. The Amberfall itself seemed to respond to his melody, its hum deepening and becoming more resonant, its light growing warmer and more luminous. It was as if the glen itself was listening, responding to his music, sharing in his peaceful expression. He felt a profound sense of connection to the glen, a feeling of harmony and belonging that transcended words, expressed purely through the gentle language of music and light. He continued to play until the twilight deepened further, and the first stars began to appear in the sky above the glen, peeking through the amber glow. The air grew cooler, but the warmth of the Amberfall remained, a comforting presence against the encroaching night. He finished his melody, the last notes fading into the peaceful silence of the glen, leaving behind a feeling of profound contentment and inner peace. He rested his lute beside him, leaning back against a moss-covered tree trunk, gazing up at the stars now twinkling above the Amberfall, feeling the gentle lull of Starfall Glen carrying him towards a night of deep, restful sleep, dreams filled with peaceful melodies and soft golden light. Chapter 4. The Glen's Embrace. Awakening in Starfall, Glen was like emerging from a dream into an even more enchanting reality. The amber light had softened with the dawn, blending with the rosy hues of sunrise, painting the glen in a pastel palette of gold and rose. The air was crisp and cool, carrying the fresh scent of dew-kissed moss and newly awakened earth. The sounds of the glen were gentler in the morning light, the soft murmur of the hidden spring, the whisper of the breeze through the willow leaves, the quiet chirping of unseen birds welcoming the new day. Orion stretched languidly, feeling his muscles loose and relaxed. The lingering tension from weeks of worry completely vanished. He felt refreshed, renewed, and filled with a quiet sense of well-being. He rose and walked towards the sound of the spring, following a mossy path that led him deeper into a secluded grove of whispering willows. The willows stood gracefully, their silver leaves shimmering in the morning light, their branches swaying gently in the breeze, creating a soft whispering sound. like secrets shared in hushed tones. He reached the spring, nestled beneath the willows, its water crystal clear and sparkling, bubbling gently over smooth stones. He knelt by the spring, cupping his hands and drinking deeply, the water cool and pure, tasting faintly sweet and incredibly refreshing. As he drank, he felt a sense of lightness and clarity wash over him, his mind feeling clear and focused, his spirit lifted and invigorated. He spent the morning exploring the glen, wandering along paths he hadn't noticed before, discovering hidden corners and quiet sanctuaries. He found a grove of ancient ferns, their fronds unfurling in delicate spirals, their green a vibrant contrast to the amber glow. He sat amongst them, listening to the soft rustle of their leaves, feeling their cool, moist air on his skin, sensing the quiet wisdom of these ancient plants, witnesses to countless seasons of the glen's gentle magic. He observed tiny, iridescent beetles crawling amongst the moss, their shells gleaming like jewels in the amber light, each creature going about its day with quiet purpose and gentle grace. He returned to the clearing beneath the Amberfall, feeling drawn back to its peaceful center. He sat again on the soft moss, taking out his lute. He didn't have a specific melody in mind. He simply wanted to play, to let the music flow through him, inspired by the glen's tranquility. He closed his eyes, letting his fingers wander over the strings, improvising a new tune, a melody that captured the gentle beauty of the morning light, the soft whispers of the willows, the pure sweetness of the spring water. The music flowed effortlessly, light and airy, filled with a sense of joy and gratitude, a musical expression of the glen's embrace. As he played, he noticed the whispering willows responding again, their leaves shimmering brighter, their branches swaying more rhythmically. The luminous flowers around him seemed to pulse with a gentle light in time with his music. Even the Amberfall seemed to shift and shimmer, its hum resonating with his melody, as if the entire glen was joining in his musical expression of peace. He realized that the magic of Starfall Glen was not just a passive force, but an active, responsive presence, interacting with those who entered its embrace, reflecting back their own feelings of peace and harmony, amplifying their joy and tranquility. He spent the afternoon by the spring, sketching in a small notebook he had brought with him, trying to capture the essence of the glen, the soft amber light, the whispering willows, the luminous flowers, the overall feeling of peace and tranquility. He wasn't a skilled artist, but the act of sketching, of slowing down and observing the details of the glen, brought him a different kind of peace, a meditative focus on the beauty surrounding him. He sketched the patterns of light and shadow, the delicate shapes of the leaves, the gentle curves of the moss-covered stones, trying to translate the glen's visual harmony onto paper. As evening approached, he returned to the clearing for one last time, wanting to spend another night beneath the Amberfall to fully absorb its peaceful energy before leaving the glen. He sat on the moss, watching as the twilight deepened and the amber light intensified once more, bathing the clearing in its golden glow. He played his lute again, a quieter melody this time, a lullaby for the glen, a song of gratitude for its healing embrace, a promise to carry its peace within his heart as he journeyed back into the world. The air grew cool, and the stars began to appear above, twinkling in the darkening sky, blending with the soft amber light below. He lay down on the moss, wrapped in his cloak, gazing up at the starlit sky through the amber glow, listening to the gentle hum of the Amberfall, feeling the soft earth beneath him, the cool air on his face, the peaceful silence of the glen enveloping him completely. He felt a profound sense of contentment, a deep inner peace that radiated outwards, soothing his mind and body, preparing him for a night of deep, dreamless sleep, held safely within the gentle embrace of Starfall Glen, its amber lull a comforting presence throughout the night. Chapter 5. Melodies Rediscovered. As dawn broke over Starfall Glen, Orion awoke feeling utterly refreshed, as if he had slept for 100 years and woken into a world reborn. The amber light had softened to a gentle glow, blending seamlessly with the rosy hues of sunrise, painting the glen in soft, pastel shades of gold and pink. He sat up, stretching languidly, feeling a lightness in his feet, etching its image into his memory, a visual reminder of peace and tranquility. He knew he would carry the amber lull within him, a source of inner calm and inspiration, wherever his journey took him next. He took out his lute, his fingers instinctively finding the strings, ready to play. He closed his eyes, letting the memory of the glen fill his mind, the soft amber light, the whispering willows, the murmuring spring, the fragrant air, the profound peace. A new melody began to form within him, flowing effortlessly from his heart to his fingers, a tune that captured the essence of Starfall Glen, its gentle beauty, its quiet magic, its profound sense of peace. It was a melody filled with gratitude, a musical thank you to the glen for its healing embrace, a song of rediscovery and renewal. He played the melody through, letting the notes resonate in the quiet morning air, feeling them blend with the natural symphony of the glen. It was a different kind of music than he had played before, not driven by a need to impress or perform, but born from a place of inner peace and heartfelt emotion. It was music meant to soothe and comfort, to heal and inspire, to share the tranquility of Starfall Glen with the world. He realized that the glen hadn't magically erased his anxieties or solved all his problems, but it had shown him a path to inner peace, a way to find solace and inspiration within himself and in the beauty of the natural world. It had reminded him of the simple joy of music, the pure pleasure of creating and sharing, without the burden of expectation or fear of judgment. He finished the melody, the last notes fading into the morning stillness, leaving behind a feeling of quiet satisfaction and gentle hope. He carefully packed his lute, securing it on his back, feeling its familiar weight no longer as a burden, but as a companion, a tool for expressing the music within his heart. He took one last look around the clearing, imprinting the image of Starfall Glen on his mind, a sanctuary of peace to return to in his thoughts whenever he needed solace or inspiration. He turned and began to walk back along the path he had taken, leaving the glen behind, but carrying its amber lull within him, a gentle light guiding his way. As he walked, He noticed the world around him seemed brighter, more vibrant, filled with a newfound beauty and wonder. The meadows seemed greener, the wildflowers more colorful, the birdsong more melodious. He felt a deeper appreciation for the simple things, the warmth of the sun on his skin, the gentle breeze on his face, the scent of wildflowers in the air. He realized that the peace he had found in Starfall Glen was not confined to that secluded place, but was something he could carry with him, something he could find within himself. Wherever he went, he reached the edge of the woods, stepping back onto the winding path that led towards the village, feeling a lighter step in his stride, a gentle smile on his face. He knew he was returning to the world, to the challenges and demands of his life as a musician, but he was no longer burdened by anxiety or fear. He was carrying the amber lull within him, a source of inner strength and peace, a reminder of the beauty and tranquility that existed within himself and in the world around him. He was ready to share his rediscovered melodies, not for applause or recognition, but for the quiet joy of connection, for the simple pleasure of bringing a little bit of peace and beauty into the lives of others, just as Starfall Glen had shared its peace with him. He walked on, the path leading him forward, towards the village, towards his music, towards the future, carrying the amber lull of Starfall Glen within his heart, its gentle magic guiding his way, its peaceful melody echoing in his soul, a constant reminder of the tranquility he had found, and the melodies he had rediscovered in the heart of the glen bathed in golden light. The journey back was not an ending, but a beginning. A new chapter in his musical journey, infused with the peace and inspiration of Starfall Glen, ready to share his music with the world, one gentle melody at a time.